And hey YouTube, this is episode 2 of the Dave and Brian Show. So far we only have 15 views on episode 1. What, you didn't see episode 1? You can click on the card or the link below to watch that. After this, of course. Please remember to share and like this video. And again, if you haven't seen the first episode, this is just sort of an experiment. It'll get better with time. The microphone, the audio will be getting better. Content, especially if we get some positive feedback.
So, if you like this, tell us why, tell us what we did right. If you've got an idea of something we can improve, tell us politely.
So, first up after that is Comcast versus AT&T.
Round 1, fight!
So, I have had AT&T until recently, and you have...
AT&T, for internet and for phone.
Oh, you do have... Oh, but there are two... Are this in the count?
No.
Oh, yeah, mine were separate as well, because I think we're both on our family plan.
Yeah.
So, AT&T is more reliable in what I've found. I don't know...
For which?
For internet.
Okay.
I'm not switching my phone. So when I plug in the modem, it works. I plug in the router, it works. I don't get as much speed as Comcast. Comcast is 25 to 30 megs down, and AT&T is only 12.
Mm-hmm.
AT&T is $57 a month. Comcast is $29.99 for the next year, so it's like wow, that's a big difference. I actually called AT&T and told them the price that they're giving me, like, yeah, never mind, go ahead and cancel. It's like, oh no, I was expecting them to be like, oh no, we can, but no.
Well, if they can't match it, yeah. It's just some guy at the call center, he can't make that decision.
Well, but you would think they would empower them to try to retain as many customers as possible.
I mean, if they can't do that, they can't do that.
Yeah.
But I am thinking, now that you're comparing prices, maybe the fact that AT&T's price is higher but lower speed, but they are still more reliable.
For me, it might be. I'm probably going to have to call Comcast out here and have them do some sort of test, because it could be something with the wiring in the building, because I have a fast connection and it drops, and then a fast connection and it drops, and then a fast connection and it drops. I've been through switching the modem out. I started with my modem. That had a problem. I tried their modem. It worked, but it's $10 a month. So I bought a modem for $60. That dropped out a lot. So I went back to their modem. That's dropping out. I've had AT&T throughout this whole time because it's more reliable. In my experience, but I finally canceled them because I'm paying for 2, and I realized that it was really still relying on AT&T because I can't really get constant service with Comcast. Mm-hmm. So that's an issue. I don't know why that is, but if it's the wiring in the building, then I'm going to once again take the rental modem that I have from them and stick with the modem I bought at Best Buy for $60, because it only takes 6 months for that to even out. So you might have a different experience. Now remember, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Right. My experience with AT&T has been pretty good. It's reliable. The service. Lately, I've been having problems, but I think it's because I've got a bit of an old router.
Oh. You should have the router should be built into the modem. It's
yes, I have an all-in-one. Yeah. But I'll be online, and then all of a sudden, nothing's loading. Like I'll be watching YouTube, it'll stop loading, or I'll try to go to a new tab, and this webpage is not available. And I'll look at the router, all green lights.
Yeah.
So what I have to do is I have to actually turn the Wi-Fi off, turn it back on, let it get a signal, find my router, and then sometimes I lose connection with like people I'm talking to, and I gotta reconnect and all this.
Yeah.
But that's not AT&T's fault. I think it's just an old router, and it is just time for it to be replaced.
Well, my router actually is an Apple router, and it's the copyright on it is 2006, so it's about 10 years old, but it still works.
Yeah.
That's what you get when you buy, a high quality. Although you have the one from AT&T, so they should they should replace it.
Yeah.
If you're interested in staying with them.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is go with Comcast, the higher speed, and try it for a month. And if you don't like it within a month, you cancel it and take it back. If you do like it, I would suggest going to Best Buy and getting a modem router combination, or at least seeing how much those cost, because over time it might save you.
Yeah. And my experience with AT&T's customer service has been really good. They're patient. They know what they're talking about. And it is kind of funny. Ever since I saw the Beavis and Butthead episode where Beavis says, "I understand your frustration." Yeah, back there.
Yeah.
I understand your frustration.
The monitor's backwards.
They always say that. Oh yes, I understand it's important to have a solid internet connection.
Yeah.
And it's something they have to say. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah, unfortunately, it comes across as pretty obvious that they have to say it. It's like,
But it's good for people to hear that,
Yeah. Except it comes across as completely fake.
Well, not all the time.
Insincere.
It depends. It depends on how it's said.
Well, every time I've heard it, it's like you could tell they're saying it because they have to.
Yeah. What?
You hear that?
Hear what?
That song in the background.
It's all right.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna change it here.
All right.
Nah.
No.
How about this one?
No.
No.
Not that.
No. That's
Hurry up. Get next.
Okay. That's good. Yeah.
I think we're good.
All right. You can check out these songs at audioblocks.com. We with 15 views on our first video, we're not exactly getting sponsored, so. But free 7-day trial.
Yeah.
Cool. So.
Now, well, what was your experience with AudioBlock?
AudioBlocks. I kind of find that there's some really good music. We used it last year for Halloween Horror Nights, but there's a lot of music that you have to go through. There's like crap, terrible, oh hell no, terrible,
But keep in mind, everybody's got different, tastes in music, so try it out. You might like a lot of the stuff. Who knows?
What I should have done was go through. You can't bookmark or anything like that, the songs, but you can write down the titles. Go through their extensive library and write down what you like, because you forget there's a certain number of downloads you can have per day. And the cool thing is that if you go for the trial period, you get to keep the license for the songs you download while you're on the trial period afterwards, and you can use it for pretty much anything you want.
Cool.
So, we were going to do this as a bit, as I'm talking about it, Brian was going to be drinking soda, but he doesn't have soda, and I don't have soda in my house anymore. But one of the recurring bits that we talked about possibly doing is a little bit like the Jay and Silent Bob Get Old. Not that I'm Kevin Smith, and he's definitely not Jason Mewes. But I noticed that you drink a lot of soda, and that's one of the things that they've identified as a leading cause of obesity in this country. I slowly backed off and actually completely stopped over a couple of years. And if that's something you guys are interested in, we might do that in future podcasts where we start off and I talk to Brian about my ideas about how he can get off soda if he wants to, and kind of keep track of it. Every podcast will have an update.
I will say, I try at least every day to drink some amount of water. I do know that drinking soda is bad for me. It tastes good, but it's bad for me. The high fructose corn syrup and there's a lot of sugar in there, which I'm getting older, so a lot of sugar is not going to be great for me.
Yeah. And I know it's not like, oh, Brian has a cocaine habit, but still, it's not good.
Yeah. So I try to drink some amounts of water, and I try to, be somewhat healthy. My alternatives aren't that great. Drinking juice, there's still a whole lot of sugar in juice and high fructose corn syrup.
Sometimes. Depends.
Drinking water is just it just tastes so empty, and sometimes it's kind of refreshing. I will admit, especially if it's nice and cold. Yeah. If I put a lot of ice in there and get some cold water, it tastes pretty good sometimes. So I do try to drink some water.
So that might be a reoccurring bit as well. So in the next few days, we're gonna go see the movie Meet the Blacks, which is, if you're not familiar with it, go check out the trailer. I don't care so much for The Purge. That it's an interesting concept, but I've never watched any of the movies. So when I went to go see Deadpool, it was in the front of that movie, and I was kind of paying attention, kind of not paying attention, and the trailer worked because I really thought it was The Purge, and then until a little bit in, and they're getting all silly, and I'm like, oh, this is the parody.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. It's mostly a parody of The Purge, sort of like Scary Movie, but I think it's just The Purge, as opposed to that. So we're gonna see that, and maybe we'll tell you what we think of it in the future Dave and Brian Show episode.
But I am a fan of the Purge movies, and Halloween Horror Nights did the Purge 2 years in a row. It was a Scare Zone and then a house, and so that's elevated it up even more for me. I'm going to go see Purge Election Year when it comes out later on in the year. And some of these parody movies, they can be hit and miss. Like I wasn't interested in 50 Shades of Black.
Huh?
That was a parody of 50 Shades of Grey.
When did that come out?
February?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oops.
It starred Marlon Wayans too.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Wayne's World. Oh wait, no.
Yeah. But I don't know why. Yeah, see, your Deadpool movie had the Purge trailer, correct? The actual Purge trailer.
Right. It was like two trailers after the fake Purge trailer.
Now, see, what confuses me is I saw Deadpool opening night, and we had the Purge trailer, but we did not have Meet the Blacks, and I was there early enough to see all the previews. So.
But I saw Deadpool several weeks later.
Yeah, but why would you have a different trailer pack?
I guess it depends on, maybe they only paid for it for a certain length of time, and when Deadpool first came out, they weren't running the trailer yet.
Maybe. And do you remember what theater you went to?
It was the Cinemark.
Oh, see, I went to the Regal, so maybe they have a different trailer pack too.
Could be.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, it looks funny. He showed me the trailer.
Yeah.
And it does look pretty. It starts off innocently enough. It's, a black family comes across money, and so they move to this ritzy neighborhood. And the day they're moving in, they go meet their neighbors, and they're the blacks, and they're meeting the Smiths. And all of a sudden, the Purge siren goes off. Not the Purge siren. They had to pitch it up, but you could tell. And, oh, happy Purge, everybody. We got to go get ready. And they go to their car, and they're pulling out shotguns and rifles. And he's like, what is this Purge thing? Oh, Dad, don't you know it's the most dangerous time of the year? You could get away with anything you wanted. Oh, we're from the hood. I'm not scared.
So it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It looks like the original Scary Movie with this is the first two.
Yeah.
Before the Zuckers took over, which they did pretty well too. I thought the fourth Scary Movie was the best one, but fifth one was just different.
Yeah. Now, Meet the Blacks is actually starting this Friday, so when you
April Fool's Day.
Yeah, when you see this video, it is out. So if you're into those parody movies, go check it out.
Yeah. So, Halloween Horror Nights 26. You asked if we should do the Express Pass. I said yes, because we do all those videos, and we're also going to do the With the Lights Out tour. I mean, the Lights On tour. Which is
Unmasking the Horror.
Which is more dangerous. So, what do you think? Are you guys going to Halloween Horror Nights? And if so, do you buy the Express Pass? Because we got to see everything the first night with the Express Pass. And even with the Panda Express Pass, the Jason versus Freddy was still at least a half hour.
It was either the first night or the second. Do you remember if it was the first night or the second night?
I think it was the second night.
Yeah, we were in the Express Pass line, and we were there for about 25, 30 minutes. And that's the Express line.
Yeah. And it wasn't like that any other night. It was just that one night. It was a lot shorter after that.
But you guys who slugged it out in that 2-hour plus line.
Yeah, we've been there.
We have. We understand your pain, we do. We were Evil Dead 2013. I believe we were there 2 hours.
And The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We were here the 23, I think, when it was the same location as it was last for 25, way off by the... where you see the parade vehicles. We were stuck all the way back in ET's line. Okay? Yeah. That's how far back the line was that year.
I was so far back I couldn't phone home.
Yeah. We were way back in the woods of ET. We weren't even at Woody Woodward's Playland. We weren't past the Curious George, area. We were all the way back in ET's line. That's how far back it was.
So we don't have much to say still about 26. We're going to try to go. We're going to try to stay at Sapphire Falls during one of the trips. And so moving on.
Well, actually, do you want me to talk about my personal theories real quick?
If you want. How about Stella's?
Stella, what do you think is going to happen? All right. My personal theories. Walking Dead house. I think that's a given.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have a Purge something because there's a movie coming out.
Yeah.
We're going to have some sort of horror movie franchise thing. The last few years it's been somebody versus somebody. It might not be that, but what I'm thinking, I think, and this is just a theory, I think we're going to, we're going to have possibly Chucky be the icon and maybe a Child's Play / Chucky house. And I'm saying that because supposedly on IMDb, there's a new Chucky movie coming out this year.
Could be.
Yeah. So, that's just a theory. Ever since 25, I decided to watch all the Child's Play movies again and thought about, okay, well, there was one pretty recently. Is there going to be a new one? And supposedly it's, I think, later this year or next year. So we possibly may have, Chucky something. Maybe even in the icon. But
maybe even Chuck E. Cheese.
That'd be neat.
So, you did see the movie about when Batman and Superman face each other in court, right?
In court?
Yeah, Batman versus Superman. Isn't that the movie about them being in court? Like Batman, I think, sued Superman for all the damage in the previous movie.
No, it would have been reversed. Oh. No, you're right. Batman sued Superman. Yes, I did see that.
So...
Did you see that?
No, of course not.
No. You're like one of the only people who don't want to see it.
I don't care about Superman.
Well, I will tell you, and maybe this will sway your interest.
So here is Brian with his spoiler-free review and opinion.
Okay. Well, first off, I think the movie is great. I know it's got maybe like a 35% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't listen to the critics.
Yeah.
Because I've read reviews of movies that I've liked and enjoyed, and I didn't agree with hardly anything that they had to say. So Well, I mean, I will go and see, watch online reviewers, and they'll have a different opinion, but they'll at least make some good points. I personally enjoyed the movie. Superman is a little bit more dark and gritty. Batman is kind of Nolanverse style Batman. Wonder Woman is amazing. There's a lot going on in the movie. And it's a bit of a long movie, and there's a lot going on, but I think everything fits well together. Everyone's talking about this is DC and Warner Brothers trying to match Marvel Studios' cinematic universe, with everything tying in together, the way, the Captain America movies and the Iron Man movies all converge with the Avenger movies.
Even Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man, all of that. It's all like this shared universe, and while they may not mention each other, there's certain elements that are cohesive. And Warner Brothers and DC are trying to do this too, and they're playing catch up, but I think they're doing well. It's a fairly Superman-centered movie, even though Batman is the first name in the title. But look, everybody's interested in seeing this movie, and everyone's going to have their own opinion. I personally enjoyed it, and I was talking with somebody at work who said that it's his favorite movie he's ever seen. I mean, I don't agree with him there. I've got other personal favorite movies, but you know what? And he actually told me a lot. He went and looked up about some of the more obscure things in the movie, and there is a point to all of it. I don't want to give anything away, but like if you're a little confused about certain things after you see the movie, go online and read about it, and it will make sense.
All right. I found it interesting. I didn't know that Deadpool is sort of considered an X-Men movie. I knew the X-Men were in it, but
yeah.
I was like, okay.
Well, Deadpool is worked a lot with, especially Wolverine. Yeah. So yeah, and he's worked with another. I don't know if he's an X-Man, but Cable was the son of Cyclops and Jean Grey. So, yeah, Deadpool's very closely associated with the X-Men universe.
I heard that for Deadpool 2, they might go with Cable, but they're considering satellite. They're not really sure yet. It depends on how many channels they get and if the high definition is worth it.
Oh, and I wanted to ask you, did you see Deadpool's after credits scene?
Yeah.
And what did you think of that?
I thought it was a pretty good reproduction of the original.
Yeah. By the way, one of your favorite movies is?
The Blues Brothers.
The other favorite movie of yours is?
The Ratchet and Clank movie.
Which we haven't seen yet.
Oh, well, so I guess it's not my favorite yet. When Lucky Met Stella?
No, but both of our favorite movies is Fearless Bueller's Day Off, or at least one of them. And
because I heard that there's a scene that gives credit to it, and I thought it was after all the destruction. He's like, by that ship, he's like, okay, go ahead, go away. But then it's the after credit scene, which is really where you see that.
So. Yeah. It comes out in the same robe, same kind of hallway, everything.
Yeah. So, all right. So it's time for books.
Alrighty.
So we want to go over the books. So we had a poll last week. So we want to say that with 0 votes.
All right. I didn't know that.
That's 0 votes for that.
We got the General Book of Ignorance.
That, however, got 0 votes.
And we got
in number 1 spot we have Amazing but False, which leads it with 0 votes. So we're just gonna pick it for you.
Alrighty. I went with something from the General Book of Ignorance.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And today's particular topic is, who said let them eat cake?
I believe that was Ant-Man.
Close.
Storm.
So
Dr. Dolittle.
according to the way most people have learned this, it was Queen Marie Antoinette, the Queen of Paris or the Queen of France, excuse me, in 1789 during the French Revolution. She was.
That's not it.
Yeah, she was. The way the history lesson goes, she's up in the palace, got plenty of food, plenty of comfort, shelter, and out. Everyone else is starving, probably got no clothes, probably lost their home.
Yeah.
And so she heard all the complaints and said, "Let them eat cake," and which sounds rude and mean, but the way the history lesson is taught is she's trying to be nice. Okay, well, we got plenty of cake. Let's just give them some cake. Supposedly, according to this book, it was said by it could be Queen Marie Therese, wife of Louis XIV, but it could have also been some other 18th century women who might have said it, and it's also entirely possible that the entire story is propaganda. And it also says that it wasn't cake, it was brioche, which is basically very good bread. Instead of your regular French bread, it's got some butter and eggs in it too. So if she said, well, if they want bread, let's give them some of the good stuff. And it's also, become so famous that it became an illustration, and stuff like that, as early back as 1760. And the person who drew it, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, claimed he first heard it as early as 1740. So, if you look at the dates, 1740 versus 1789, the whole thing existed before Queen Antoinette was even queen. So apparently, Queen Antoinette did not say let them eat cake. Now,
Right.
Sadly, we don't have any way of asking people and saying, hey, what was really said.
Yeah.
But that's what this book says. So maybe
All
you
right.
learned something today.
All right. Well, the poll still stands. Which of the three books are you most interested in? And again, if you haven't seen episode 1, it's a good time to go see it now for the one person who's still watching. So that is the Dave and Brian Show, episode 2. Please watch. Please share so we can get the view count up. And thanks for watching.
Chain chomp wham.